I didn't actually audition for the role of Barbie. I produced the film, so I guess I cast myself. But I did make it very clear to Greta being our writer and director, she was always who I wanted to make a Barbie movie with. I said to her when she said, yes, I'll come on board, I don't have to be in the movie. I'm very passionate about making this as a producer, but I don't have to play Barbie or be.
Blake Lively almost became a Barbie. When the casting process for Barbie was in full swing, her name was among the many high-profile choices being considered for a role. And it wasn't just a random selection. Her past collaboration with America Ferrera in the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants made her a natural fit for the project. The filmmakers had a vision. They wanted to bring in actresses who had been part of iconic female-led ensembles, adding a nostalgic element to Greta Gerwig's pastel-colored feminist masterpiece. With her reputation as a glamorous fashionista and Hollywood's bubbly blonde sweetheart, Blake seemed like an obvious choice. She had the charisma, the screen presence, and the Hollywood appeal that fit right into the film's larger-than-life world. But behind the scenes, things didn't go as smoothly as anticipated. Insiders reveal that Blake wanted more than just a standard supporting role as one of the many Barbies. While actresses like Margot Robbie, Issa, Dua Lipa, and Hari Nef embraced the film's concept of celebrating diverse forms of femininity and teamwork, Blake reportedly had different ambitions. Instead of blending into the ensemble cast, she sought a larger role, one that gave her more creative control and influence over her character's direction. She wasn't just interested in playing a Barbie. She wanted to shape the narrative. Sources claim she pushed for script changes that would elevate her role beyond what was originally written.
I would show up on a set. I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say. But I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that. And sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do.
This, however, clashed with the film's structure, which was designed as a collective celebration, rather than a platform for any single actress to stand out. Ultimately, Margot Robbie, who not only starred in the film, but also produced it through Lucky Chap Entertainment, wasn't interested in entertaining these demands. The discussions reportedly never progressed beyond early negotiations, and Blake's involvement quietly faded away. In the end, Barbie became a massive cultural phenomenon without her, proving that the film didn't need her star power to shine. Being part of the Barbie universe wasn't enough for Blake Lively. She wanted a moment to stand out, but there was one problem. Margot Robbie wasn't having it. Not only was Margot the film's lead, but she was also one of its producers through her company, Lucky Chap Entertainment.
I didn't actually audition for the role of Barbie. I produced the film, so I guess I cast myself. But I did make it very clear to Greta being our writer and director, she was always who I wanted to make a Barbie movie with. I said to her when she said, yes, I'll come on board, I don't have to be in the movie. I'm very passionate about making this as a producer, but I don't have to play Barbie or be in the movie in any capacity. I'm happy just to produce. And she was like, no, I really want to write this for you. And she wrote me an amazing part, so I'm very grateful. And then
she wasn't just another actress in the cast. She had full control over the creative direction, from the script to the final cut. And that meant she had the power to decide who was the right fit for Barbie and who wasn't. I didn't actually audition for Barbie. I produced the film, so I guess I cast myself, Margot once revealed in an interview. But I made it very clear to Greta. When she came on board, I told her, I don't have to be in the movie. I'm just happy to produce. But she said, no, I really want to write this for you. And she gave me an amazing part, which I'm very grateful for. That level of trust between Margot and director Greta Gerwig was crucial to Barbie's success. Margot knew exactly what kind of energy she wanted on set. Collaborative, fun, and fully aligned with Greta's vision.
And seeing if it fit and like, oh, how am I going to do that? And because I was talking to Greta every day, these discussions were just constant and ever evolving. I decorated my trailer. I do this for all the characters I play now, but I went all out for this character of Barbie. Pink stuff, fluffy stuff, things that make me happy, things that are like cute, pictures of my friends, like things like that, just so that I'd be in, a really happy, positive kind of mood.
The last thing she needed was an actress trying to disrupt that harmony by reshaping the story to suit her own ambitions. According to sources, the moment Blake started pushing for more influence over her potential role, Margot shut it down. Blake reportedly wanted a bigger spotlight, more lines, more screen time, and possibly even adjustments to the script that would give her character more depth. But Barbie wasn't about one single star. It was an ensemble piece, a celebration of womanhood in all its forms. And Margot wasn't about to let someone come in and make it about themselves. The negotiations never moved past the early stages. Margot, known for championing a positive work environment, had no interest in letting unnecessary drama derail the project before filming even began. She had worked too hard, spent years developing Barbie, and wasn't willing to compromise the film's integrity for the sake of an actress who wanted more creative control than the role allowed.
Kind of trying it on and seeing if it fit and like, oh, how am I going to do that? And because I was talking to Greta every day, these discussions were just constant and ever evolving. I decorated my trailer. I do this for all the characters I play now, but I went all out for this character of Barbie. Pink stuff, fluffy stuff, things that make me happy, things that are like cute, pictures of my friends, like things like that, just so that I'd be in, a really happy, positive kind of mood.
What makes the situation even more fascinating is how quietly it all happened. Typically, when an actress is in serious talks for a major role and then suddenly disappears, rumors spread. There are whispers, leaks, and sometimes even subtle shade thrown in interviews. But in this case, Margot handled it so smoothly that it never became a public scandal. She wasn't about to let behind-the-scenes power plays overshadow a film she had dreamed of making for years.
I'm at the Mattel headquarters, speaking to Mattel employees, asking them about how the brand has evolved over the years, what was the impotence for some of the changes that they made, and how do you make a Barbie? I could go here and watch someone literally thread Barbie's hair. But I also did watch, Barbie documentaries.
And looking at the results, a billion-dollar box office hit, critical acclaim, and a lasting cultural impact. It's clear Margot made the right call. No one walked out of the theater feeling like something, or someone, was missing. The Barbie movie was already packed with talent, and every actress played her role perfectly. If Blake had joined, she would have been just another face in the sea of Barbies, something she seemingly wasn't willing to accept. Unlike other actresses who embraced the collaborative nature of the film, Blake allegedly wanted more. She wasn't content with blending into the ensemble. She wanted a standout moment, something that would make her role feel bigger, more significant. But Barbie was never about a single actress. It was about a collective experience, a film where every character played a part in the larger feminist message. And this wasn't the first time Blake Lively had tried to exert creative control. If this situation sounds familiar, it's because she allegedly pulled a similar move on It Ends With Us. Instead of simply starring in the film, she reportedly pushed for more influence, frustrating director and co-star Justin Baldoni in the process. Insiders claim she had strong opinions about the script and wanted changes that suited her version of the story rather than the one the filmmakers originally envisioned. While it's not unusual for big-name stars to have input, especially when they are headlining a project, there's a fine line between collaborating and taking over. And according to sources, Blake's involvement in It Ends With Us went beyond typical creative discussions. She wanted control.
She wrested his movie away from him and decided to try to hurt him with petty, made-up, out-of-context complaints.
Blake Lively is caught in old footage revealing that, yes, her secret plan is to always take control of the movies and lie to the directors to get it.
Her push for script revisions allegedly led to tension on set, with Justin Baldoni trying to balance his original vision against Blake's growing influence. The situation escalated, leading to behind-the-scenes friction that eventually turned into legal drama. While details remain somewhat murky, it's clear that Blake's approach to filmmaking has started to rub some people the wrong way. Instead of trusting the directors and producers behind these projects, she appears to seek control, regardless of how it affects the larger vision.
A basement when I show up. I mean, that's not authorship. That's not autonomy. That's control. That's selfishness. That's entitlement. This woman is a monster. I'm sorry. And everyone's asking what year. This is 2022. This is literally a year right before they shot the movie. So she is going into this movie knowing, yep, that's what I do. Knowing that she's admitted this, and I guess she might argue, well, you could have found the clip and you would have known better. Ha-ha. But sorry, you admit to lying, which is...
Her rejection from Barbie is just another example of why some industry insiders are starting to keep their distance. While Margot Robbie never publicly addressed the situation, her actions spoke louder than words. The door was quietly closed, and the film moved forward without Blake. No drama, no public fallout, just a simple, strategic decision to exclude someone who might not align with the film's collaborative spirit. Now, with It Ends With Us facing its own controversy and Blake's reputation taking multiple hits, the question remains, was her absence from Barbie a missed opportunity for her career? Or did Margot Robbie dodge a potential behind-the-scenes headache? One thing is certain, Margot knew exactly what she was doing. And considering Barbie went on to gross over $1 billion and become a cultural phenomenon, it's safe to say she made the right call. Blake Lively has always positioned herself as more than just an actress. She wants influence, control, and the ability to shape the narrative both on and off screen. That's exactly what happened with It Ends With Us. When she joined the project, it wasn't just about playing the lead role. It became about reshaping the film to fit her vision. Insiders claim she used her influence to make significant changes, even pushing Justin Baldoni into a creative corner. What started as a passion project for him? Once Blake Lively stepped into It Ends With Us, the film reportedly took a completely different turn. Much like her rumored attempt to control Barbie, insiders claim she overstepped, making demands that altered the entire trajectory of the movie. What was supposed to be a faithful adaptation of Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel allegedly started shifting to accommodate Blake's vision.
For those of you, just a quick two-liner for those of you not following it. They started this movie, It Ends With Us, about domestic violence. It was his movie that he bought the rights for from the woman who wrote the book, Colleen Hoover. And then he managed to convince Blake Lively to star in it with him, and all hell broke loose.
Sources say she pushed for script rewrites, tweaking not just her character, but also major story elements. While actors often collaborate on their roles, Blake's level of influence reportedly went beyond typical creative input.
Lively, and she bullied him into giving her the movie where she did her own cut. They released the cut of the movie. He didn't even get to see it. He was the director of the film, the producer of the film, the guy who got the rights to the film, the one who's supposed to be in control. He didn't even get to see it. He was in the basement at his own movie premiere. And then she had the nerve, because she had 2 minutes of bad publicity when the film hit, to come.
Some insiders believe she wanted It Ends With Us to be a career-defining moment, a project that showcased her as more than just an actress, but as a true Hollywood power player. However, instead of bringing fresh perspective, her changes allegedly clashed with Justin Baldoni's original direction, leading to creative differences behind the scenes.
Maybe someday you could be a producer or a screenwriter, but no one contracted with you to do that here. And that's another allegation, Holmes, is that she started to rewrite scenes that nobody had asked her to rewrite.
What? That's just wild to me. I mean, that is, for the plumber thing, is absolutely perfect. I mean, you hired somebody to do a job and they're like, well, hold on a second. I've got a different vision for your toilet.
Right.
I'd like to create a bidet.
Here's the other piece of it. One other piece of it. So she is accused of having turned the whole cast.
In contrast, Margot Robbie has mastered the balance of power and respect in Hollywood. She, too, has taken control of her career, but she's done it strategically, earning admiration rather than backlash. Through Lucky Chap Entertainment, she has produced Oscar-winning films and box office hits, all while maintaining strong industry relationships. The key difference? Margot doesn't try to take over projects that aren't hers, she builds them from the ground up, earning her influence along the way. Blake, on the other hand, allegedly pushes to reshape projects to elevate her own position. And that's why her rejection from Barbie wasn't just about one role. It was the industry, sending a message. Blake's tactics weren't going to work with everyone, and the fallout from her repeated power moves is becoming more apparent. Margot isn't the only Hollywood figure who has reportedly kept Blake at arm's length. Anna Kendrick, Blake's A Simple Favor co-star, has subtly distanced herself. During the sequel's press tour, Anna made it clear she wanted to keep things professional, requesting solo interviews and limiting joint appearances. Even in light-hearted moments, the tension was obvious. Interviewer: what does it mean to be working with Blake again? Anna Kendrick, awkward laugh. Oh, well, talking about you. Insiders claim that Anna, much like Margot, isn't interested.
It means to be working with Blake again. Oh, talking about you all day.
In dealing with the behind-the-scenes drama that tends to follow Blake. And she's not the only one. Even America Ferrera, who once shared a close working relationship with Blake, has been noticeably quiet about their past collaborations. The more Blake pushes for control, the more doors quietly close around her. Even America Ferrera, who once shared a close working relationship with Blake, has noticeably distanced herself, going years without mentioning her publicly. This silence speaks volumes in an industry where professional bonds often turn into lifelong friendships, especially among actors who have worked together extensively. America and Blake were once seen as part of the same Hollywood circle, both having built their careers around strong, independent female roles. But the lack of acknowledgement from America raises an important question. Is Blake Lively burning too many bridges in Hollywood? For a long time, Blake maintained a polished public image, balancing charm and elegance with a down-to-earth persona that made her one of Hollywood's most likable stars. She was seen as an actress who could do it all, effortlessly transitioning from teen dramas like Gossip Girl to high-fashion red carpets and leading roles in major films. Audiences loved her, and for years, she maintained an aura of effortless success. However, in recent years, cracks have started to show in that carefully cultivated image. Rumors about her being difficult behind the scenes have grown louder, and her reputation as a beloved industry darling is beginning to falter. Where she was once praised for her keen eye for style and business acumen, she is now facing criticism for trying to exert too much control over the projects she joins. Take It Ends With Us, for example. This was supposed to be a defining moment in her career, an opportunity to prove herself as a serious actress, capable of taking on emotionally complex roles. The film, based on the best-selling novel by Colleen Hoover, had built-in buzz from its devoted fan base. But instead of elevating her status in Hollywood, it has become a source of backlash. The film's production has faced delays, script rewrites, and behind-the-scenes tensions that insiders claim stem from Blake's creative overreach. Reports suggest that she pushed for changes that did not align with the original vision, frustrating both the filmmakers and the studio. Rather than strengthening her industry standing, the film has put her under scrutiny, with whispers of legal battles brewing behind the scenes. And then there's Barbie, one of the biggest cultural phenomena in recent years. Blake didn't just miss out on a billion-dollar blockbuster. She lost the chance to be part of a film that redefined what a female-led Hollywood production could achieve. Margot Robbie, Issa, Hari Nef, and the entire ensemble cast created a cultural moment that will be remembered for years to come. Instead of standing alongside them, Blake was left out entirely. And the film didn't suffer for it. If anything, its massive success only reinforced the idea that Margot made the right decision by keeping the project tightly controlled. Hollywood is a business built on relationships, and the way actors navigate their careers can make or break them. Margot Robbie has built a network of trust, positioning herself as one of the most powerful women in the industry, not just because of her talent, but because of how she collaborates. She champions creative freedom but understands the importance of working within the framework of the industry. She produces her own films through Lucky Chap Entertainment, allowing her to maintain creative control while also empowering other filmmakers and actors. Blake, on the other hand, seems to be caught in a cycle, pushing too hard, trying to control too much, and ultimately getting shut out. Instead of working her way up by creating her own projects, she appears to insert herself into existing productions and demand more influence than she has earned. This is a dangerous strategy in an industry where reputation matters just as much as talent. She may continue to land roles, but the real question is whether she'll keep getting invited into the rooms where the biggest projects are being made. With it ends. With us facing backlash and Barbie thriving without her, Blake's Hollywood strategy is being scrutinized like never before. Will she learn from these missteps and focus on working within the system, rather than trying to control it? Will she follow the example of actresses like Margot Robbie and Reese Witherspoon, who built their power by proving themselves as smart producers and industry leaders? Or will more high-profile figures follow Margot's lead, keeping her at a distance and choosing not to collaborate with her? At this point, the industry seems to be making a choice. Blake might want power, but Hollywood isn't so eager to give it to her.